Welcome back to Elizabeth Plants. I'm Elizabeth, and today I'm going to do a fun twist on a wish list video. Okay, so here's what I mean about like a twist on a wish list video. If you've been a long-time viewer, you know I've been putting off a wish list video for well over a year. I just didn't really get around to making a wish list that I felt like comfortable sharing or like excited about. I just don't really do wish lists when it comes to my plants because I don't shop for plants the same way a lot of other plant tubers do or people do that I know of. Now, before we chat about what makes my wish list video different, I want to share with you today's sponsor, which is Ana Luisa jewelry. Again, if you're a longtime viewer, you know that I work with this jewelry company all the time, and I have a collaboration with them. And so today is the second collaboration of our current partnership, which is super, super awesome. And I want to share with you again the 3 pieces that I got. But the cool part about this time is that they are currently running their Black Friday sale, which is, I mean, all Black Friday sales are kind of awesome for the most part, but theirs is also awesome. So definitely go to the links down in the description to get my discount, to get the Black Friday deals that they've got going on, to explore, to love on this jewelry company. But I do want to share a little bit more about them for those of you who aren't familiar, or if maybe I've missed on some of these details in the past. So something that I believe I've mentioned in the past, Ana Luisa is carbon and water neutral. So essentially they try to make the tiniest, if any at all, footprint on our planet, which is just really awesome and something that I heavily support and love. They also have really super high-end quality products and for a good price. So their jewelry is meant to be conscious luxury. So essentially they recycle when they can, and they're super transparent and open about where they source things like the gems, for example. A lot of the products are limited batches, so browsing their website frequently is definitely a must. There are all kinds of like new arrivals and things selling out all the time. Things that I loved and had seen on there before are no longer available, but there's definitely new things that I love and I'm super interested in. And because it's Black Friday, Christmas, Thanksgiving season, it's that giving season, whether or not you celebrate those holidays, jewelry is such an awesome gift. I don't think my mom watches my videos. I'm giving my mom a necklace for Christmas. But they definitely make an awesome gift, so buying your loved ones a jewelry gift this Black Friday season is perfect. So this is a lot of information to share with you. I don't necessarily want to spend my entire video sharing this whole story, but I highly, highly recommend, if the little bit I'm about to share or have already shared interests you, on their website, if you go to the About section, the jewelry section, they have so much information about how the jewelry is made, their suppliers, the materials, everything. They have so much information. It's really quite overwhelming, actually. I don't have sensitive skin, but their jewelry has never caused me to have a reaction, ever. So definitely, if that information interests you, I highly recommend going to their website and reading more. But I do want to show you the pieces that I got today to show you. First piece I want to show you, I'm probably putting over top of this current video where I'm speaking because I can't get close up to the camera here. But it's a necklace and it's got a little feminine silhouette, which I absolutely love. I love like this body positivity, bodies aren't scary and not to be seen art vibe. I love that. And so it doesn't have like any arms or legs, but it's just like a torso with the little boobies and the belly button, and it's super, super cute. I love this piece. I've been wearing it most days if I am able to wear jewelry. The next piece is this little necklace. I actually, in my last jewelry haul, little add into the video, got the matching earrings to this. I'm not wearing them today, but I love this little simple teardrop gem. I love that simple, because if you're wearing like a super sleek, super basic outfit and you don't want your jewelry to like stand out or be a statement, but you want something shiny and shimmery, this is perfect. And the earrings are of matching wondrousness. And the third piece are these little hoop earrings. I really like these ones because, again, super simple. And sometimes I want something on my ears that doesn't dangle. Sometimes I don't want things that are dangly. I did get a job recently. I know I've talked about that in previous videos. I'm not going to give it a ton of attention here. But in that job, I don't really want a ton of dangly things. I don't really want a ton of like statement big jewelry getting in my way or getting dirty. So this set of earrings has been my go-to because I love wearing jewelry, but like it doesn't make sense with the job that I have to wear a ton of jewelry. So this piece is absolutely perfect because it's shiny, it's shimmery, but it also doesn't get in my way. It doesn't get tangled in my hair, anything like that. So thank you, Ana Luisa, for partnering with me. Love, love, love the brand. Love, love, love the jewelry. Love, love, love what they stand for. Definitely check out their Black Friday deal and the link and coupon down in the description. So now let's talk about what the heck my twist on a wish list is. And I think to give you some background, I need to tell you how I shop for plants. A lot of people have a list of plants that they want and they specifically seek out those plants. I do not do that. I have certain plants that I'm definitely interested in, and if I saw would keep, like, buy, or I might keep my eye out for, but I do not specifically search for these plants. So they more are just like things I keep in mind of, keep my eye out for. But instead of specifically shopping for the plant that I want, what I do is I find like sellers that I really like to buy from, sellers that I've had good experiences with, sellers that have been recommended to me, maybe sellers that are local or, you know, whatever. Sellers that I like for whatever reason, and then I shop them sort of regularly. If I don't see what I want on their website, I don't buy. If I see something I want on their website, I buy. And that's how I shop, which is why wish lists never really make sense for me. However, about a year and a half ago, a year ago, I created a wish list in my bullet journal. Side note, I run a bullet journal blog and digital bullet journal shop. I will link myself in the description down below. But this is one that is my own, and I've got this cute little plant painting on it. And it's got this wish list that I created because I feel like I just like should have a wish list. So mostly I've added to this based on like other people's videos I've seen where they've shown off plants that they've gotten or want. And I've been like, ooh, that's neat. I'll add that to my list. Or just like leftovers from the list that was in my last bullet journal. So what I thought we would do, because I haven't opened up and looked at this since it's probably been over 6 months. Easily. Over 6 months. And most of it is philodendron. This entire section right here, if you can see, is philodendron, and these are just kind of the other areas. I want to go through this list and decide if I still care about those plants. A lot of the plants on here I'm familiar with, and a lot of them I'm like, I don't know what that is off the top of my head. So I have my laptop here, and I'm going to look up the plants that I don't know as we go through. And the ones that I do know, while I'm not going to be looking them up, I will show you what they are, which is why I'm off to the side of the screen a little bit today. So, I don't know, I thought that would be super fun. And let's just do it. So, I know that if I go through this and like give a huge explanation to each one, it's going to take forever. So we're just going to roll through, and anything that's important or is of particular whatever, I will spend more time on, but we're really just going to go through it. And we're going to start, I've labeled them into categories. We're going to start with Monstera. So on my list, I have Monstera albo. So this is going to be the albo variegata. I like these plants, but for the price point, I don't like them that much. I have only ever had one like generic Monstera. It got thripes. I tossed it. I haven't really replaced it. It's fine. I don't, like, I miss it, but not that much. So if somebody were to offer me a cheap cutting or a piece off of their plant that I knew, or if I found one like for dirty cheap, I might get it, but I'm not going to be spending over $50 on it, quite frankly, which is not reasonable considering the prices that they're going for. So I probably wouldn't continue to keep this on a wish list. And then right below that is the Monstera alba. Even less. Like, same exact deal, but I care about it a little bit less. I prefer white variegation to yellow variegation, though I do like yellow variegation as well. Then next is the Thai constellation. I care a lot more about the Thai constellation, particularly because it's a stable variegation. However, I'm not going to be spending hundreds of dollars on this plant. I don't care that much. If I were to stumble across a cheap one or be offered a cutting or something like that, I would take it, but I'm not seeking it out. I'm really not even going to the Monstera sections on the shops I do shop regularly. The next section is Alocasia. Now, I do not believe that this list is the full list of what I actually am looking for Alocasia. This is not updated. I have lost a lot of Alocasia to thrips and to winters in Michigan since creating this list. So right off the bat, I can see that Stingray's not on this list. Stingray is one that I absolutely am dying for. I will spend a little bit more money on that, and I will be searching for it on websites that I go to regularly. So that's just one that strikes me right off the bat. I also really liked I believe it was called a Monster. I think I still have the nub, but it did not handle the thrips very well. And so I believe I still have the nub around here. It's hard to know if that's the nub I have or not because it's just a nub and I don't remember anymore. But I would definitely get another one of those and seek it out. Next on the list is the Beginda Pink Dragon. I haven't looked this one up in a while, so I'm not super fresh on like it in full detail. But I know that this one is still on the list. I really like the way that it looks. I really like the Beginda vibe. I believe they have more than just the pink one. I really like that shape. Pseudo-Sanderiana. That doesn't ring a bell at all. Ooh, this is, yeah. So I think this is one that I would buy if I was already buying from a shop and it was at a decent price. I'd add it to the cart. But when I pulled up Google to search for the Pseudo-Sanderiana, it also is showing me a Jacqueline species, Sulawesi. Never heard of that before, but I want it. What I'm looking at right now, it looks like Monster, but with more detail. I want it. So an Alocasia Sarian. That sounds so familiar. Obviously, I mean, I wrote it down. Oh, yes. I do want an Alocasia Sarian. Same deal. They don't seem to be going for super expensive. If I was already buying from a shop or wanting to make a bulk purchase from somewhere, I would throw this in the cart. It's super sleek, it's smooth, it looks like a fry deck, but minus the velvet, kinda. So I love that. Speaking of, I would love to have another fry deck now that I have more humidity, and it would probably survive. That one is, again, I'd throw it in the cart if I'm already making a bunch of plant purchases, or if I'm looking to do an unboxing or test a brand or something like that. Alocasia Nebula Elaine. Well, this is pretty. It honestly kind of looks like a silver dragon, but a little bit different. I kind of like this, but I would only purchase this if it was like $15. And I'm seeing that it's going for quite a bit more. So not super high priority at all. Watsonii. Ooh, I'm just realizing that it's Watsoniana. Probably butchering that. Well, this is pretty. I like it. I would buy it if it was cheap, like $20-ish, give or take 10. Because I like the coloring of it, but I feel like there are so many cheaper Alocasia with that same patterning that I'm not wowed. Macrorhiza, I think I'm butchering that. Variegata. This is one that I know I want, and I would be willing to pay a chunk of money, a small chunk of money, but I'd be willing to pay for this plant if I came across one. I think that now that I've had really good luck and experience with my sumo, I know I can keep a variegated Alocasia alive if it arrives to me alive. And I know that Alocasia thrive in my environment. I would absolutely get this plant. Aslanii. Yeah, I love this. I love this, like, it's like shiny, purpley, kind of looks like a shield sort of vibes. Yeah, I would get this plant, the Aslanii. I'd be willing to pay a prettier penny than some of the other ones for this plant, but I am not going to go intentionally seeking it out. So that is all of the Alocasia. Now we are moving on to Scindapsus. So we have the Scindapsus pictus Borneo. I need to refresh my memory on this one. Yeah, this is neat. This is one of those that I think is neat. Wouldn't be willing to spend a ton of money on. I would prefer it to be like thrown in with a cart full of other plants that I'm interested in, or gifted to me, or like given a cutting or something like that. I'm not going to go out of my way for this one, but it's neat and I like it. Pictus platinum. Ooh, I actually really love this. So I don't really love silver plants at all. I really don't like silver to begin with. I really am a gold kind of metal vibe person. And I generally don't like silver plants. Scindapsus has a special place in my heart because my very first plant was a Scindapsus pictus. And that's kind of why I keep them around, really, is just that like old connection. But this platinum one, this looks cool. It almost looks white than it does silver in some of these photos. Or like a grayed out version of a green. Like it has some sort of like clouded window deal going on. Yeah, I'd get this. I'd be willing to pay a little bit more for this plant, but I would not go out of my way to find it. Next we have Syngonium. So we've got the red spot tricolor. I believe I saw this one on a YouTube video. It had to have been Kaylee Ellen, right? I think so. I think it would have been a Kaylee Ellen video. Yes, I love this plant. I am not willing to pay the prices it is currently going for. Immediately on my Google search, I'm seeing $1,200, $700, $600. I'm not willing to pay that much for it. I'll wait for the prices to come down, or I just won't ever own this plant. But I'd be willing to pay a little bit more, maybe closer to between $50 and $150, depending on how spendy I'm feeling, depending on how much money I have set aside for the plant shop. But I'd be willing to seek this one out also. Imperial White. So I am a sucker for white plants. I would absolutely buy this plant. I would be willing to spend a little bit more money on this plant. I think if I had a really good specimen that didn't just look like an elbow, I would be very interested. Now, something that makes me hesitate, I would definitely do a little bit more research beforehand, is all white plants I know tend to not fare well. And so I'm wondering if this plant would be worth it for that reason. Now, if it turns out that it's, you know, stable or it's pretty sturdy, kind of like the Syngonium we all know and love, yeah, I'd seek this out. Next is Emerald Gem, and I've got it crossed off. But as far as I know, I do not have an Emerald Gem Syngonium. Is Emerald Gem just the Albo variegata? What? I'm very confused by this one. If it's an Albo variegata, I have like two. Let me know in the comments down below if you know what the heck the difference is, if there is one, why I have it written down as an Emerald Gem. I've had the Albo variegata for years. Okay, and finally in Syngonium is the Strawberry Ice. I'm going to look it up because I want to look at it, but I know this is a plant I'm willing to seek. It's like a pink princess in a Syngonium, and I'm not like drawn by the color pink. I actually really don't like most shades of pink, but I like the idea of having a pot full of all of the different pink varieties of Syngonium. I think that just sounds really cool and like a fun decor piece. So I love the idea of including a Strawberry Ice in that, because I think that would give such a cool dimension, especially if in there is like a pink splash and like a neon pink, and then like the more pinky of the illusions. I think that just sounds beautiful. So while I wouldn't pay hundreds of dollars for this plant, I would pay like $150, give or take some change. For a good enough specimen, yeah. Next is Anthurium. I feel very hesitant towards Anthurium because I know how weird they are. I've tried to buy Anthurium in the past and have had bad luck with them even showing up. I had good luck with 2 Anthuriums, and one my cat knocked off a shelf, and it's doing okay. And then the second one, you know, died off in the move, and then another one I accidentally knocked a leaf off. So while I don't have, like, caring for it problems, I've never really made it through an Anthurium long enough to know. And so I hesitate for that reason. They are generally fairly expensive compared to what I'd be willing to spend on them. So I hesitate towards them. However, I've got a couple on this list, so let's take a look. So I've got a King Clarinervium. Clarinervium? Is there a difference? Is it Clarinervium? Clarinervium? Not 100% sure. But yeah, this is a plant that I believe I've attempted to buy this one in the past, but they're fairly expensive for the king, but I'd be willing to spend a decent amount of money on it. I wouldn't go out of my way for this plant. It'd be one that I'd come across a good price for a good size already in buying plants, and I'd maybe add it to the cart. I think it's a beautiful plant, and I do think it would do well in my apartment under my care. But again, I'm just so hesitant with Anthurium, and it's nothing against them. I just, like, am cursed. I don't know. But in pulling up this search, one that's not on my list, but I know I'm interested in is the Dorayaki. Dorayaki. Correct me in the comments down below. Silver Blush. That is a beautiful plant. I don't know if that's like the name or just the shop's name for it, but it's got like more white veins, like thick, fluffy white veins. And I think that looks really cool. More cool than the King Clarinervium. The next is the Anthurium magnificum. I think this is such a beautiful plant. The size of the leaves draw me in quite a bit. It feels like a beefy melanochrysum, if that even makes sense. So I think that that's a really pretty plant. I'd get it if, you know, it was either offered to me or was, you know, a good size for a decent price. I'm not going out of my way. I might not even toss it into a cart if I'm already shopping. That would be kind of if there's a sale or if I'm trying to, you know, get free shipping and add enough plants sort of a deal. Forgetii. Yes. I know that, like, this is such a popular plant, but the Forgetii, I think, is just so cool. And similarly, because it's coming up during this search, the Warwickwian, I know I'm butchering that. Both of these plants, the kind of like no lobe Anthurium. I like that. I also like really long leaves or really like big round beefy leaves. I love that distinction, and I would love to kind of put them together in a pot even. I think that that could be aesthetically really pleasing to me. But again, I'm not going out of my way. I'm not spending a ton of money. And lastly, we have the Anthurium veitchii. I think this plant is very interesting, and it interests me. I find it curious. But I don't love it, and I'm not going to spend very much money. I'm not going out of my way. I'm probably not going to own it without it being offered to me. But I think it's very interesting. Okay, now we're on to the philodendron section. And I think I'm actually going to stop this video here. I know that I tend to make really long videos, and what we've gone through so far, my filming has taken over a half hour. And I really haven't done a ton of pausing or like sitting here staring at the camera quietly or anything like that. So I don't want this video to become incredibly long by doubling what I've already filmed, because the philodendron list is half of my list. I love myself a good philodendron. So if you want to see me react to my philodendron half of the list, I will not look at it until I go to film that part of it. I've closed my notebook. I will be filming the next part of this at some point. I'm making no promises as to when, but if you really, really want to see that part of the video, let me know in the comments. comment down below, thumbs up this video. That will let me know that you actually care about seeing that video, and then I will prioritize it. But with that being said, do not forget to go check out the Black Friday sale over at Ana Luisa. Use my link and code down below for some more coupon/deals. Absolutely love the company, absolutely love their jewelry and what they stand for. I could not recommend them more. They are such a perfect gift for your loved ones who wear jewelry, who like jewelry. Such beautiful pieces, highly recommend. If you like this kind of twist on a wish list video, definitely comment down below, like this video. Let me know down in the comments what's on your wish list. What of my wish list do you agree or disagree with me on? What are your thoughts on plant wish lists in general and wish list videos in general down below? I'd love to have a discussion because wish list videos are kind of weird to me, and that's why I've done this kind of a twist on it. But if you like houseplant content, subscribe to see more houseplant-y stuff, and I will see you next time.